Hey everyone, Rico Reviews here. It is White Rice Wednesday. So today I wanted to talk about fellow survivor castaway Missy Payne. Missy competed on the season San Juan del Sur, the Blood versus Water season. And I've got to say, Missy is not one of my favorite castaways to come out of the game. Missy played with her daughter Baylor, and I think one of the things that bothered me about Missy is her clique. Now, when you're on Survivor, you have alliances, and alliances could vary from like 3 to 4 people, sometimes an alliance of 2 people, but hers was really like a clique. Like, I think she had about 5 people in that. It was her, Baylor, Natalie, Jacqueline, and John, and the other people were like the outcasts, and they weren't worth her time. Like, she didn't even want to be cordial and talk to them. They just weren't worth her time, and they disgusted her. Like, there was one instance where Keith and his son Wes just burped like people do, and Missy found that so offensive. I'm like, really? You're gonna make enemies out of people just because they burped? I mean, I know they're not part of your alliance, but really? I mean, you have to pick or choose your battles. And Missy's daughter Baylor also bothered me because she was a major brat on the show. And if you've watched my Josh and Reed review, Reed called Baylor out on it and called Missy out on her things and everything, and Missy got defensive and says, "You don't get to talk to my daughter like that." I'm like, okay, so Reed can't speak his mind, but you could say anything you want. Well, like, that makes no sense to me. And another thing that was kind of weird was her alliance with John. It just seemed kind of weird. Reed mentioned in his the final tribal council, when he was confronting Missy, that she gave her children an extra scoop of rice that her children bring her alliance, and it was, I don't know, I just got this weird vibe from John and Missy. It was just weird, but I will say, even though I don't like Missy, that she did remain loyal to her alliance, which is very hard to do in the game of Survivor. But I think the one thing that bothered me most about Missy is the fact that she got injured and she got to stay in the game. Now, if you've watched Survivor, there has been some instances where people have to be pulled from the game because of injuries, and Missy was in this challenge with Keith and John, and I'm pretty sure it was a challenge with Keith and John, and she ended up injuring her ankle, and she got to stay in the game. I'm like, it made no sense because she could not play in any of the challenges. I'm like, if you can't play any of the challenges, then you should be taken out of the game. Because I remember one season where it was the first episode, and a girl, I think the challenge was you had to fall off and land in this net, and I think she landed the wrong way and sprained her thumb, and she was taken out of the game. So I'm like, she was taken out of the game for a sprained thumb when she can do more things, when Missy was still in the game with a sprained foot and she just sat there the whole time. That made no sense to me why she was able to stay in the game. It really made me question if I wanted to watch Survivor, because it just disgusted me to see Missy and Baylor on here. But I do have to give Natalie credit, because taking Missy to the final 3 was a perfect idea, because a lot of people didn't like Missy because of her being cruel, and the fact that she didn't do anything the whole game, that really worked in Natalie's favor. So I have to give Natalie props for that. Natalie, you did a good job picking your final 3 there. So that's basically what I have to say about Missy. One more thing before I conclude this video is, there at the final tribal council, when you see Natalie, Jacqueline, and Missy, Reed, I mentioned also in my Josh and Reed video that Reed confronts Missy, calling her the wicked stepmother, and I just thought it's so funny to watch, because it's funny because it's so true, everything he said, and I think she really got what she deserved in the end. I don't think she deserved to win the game at all. And I really think that Natalie played hard, and Natalie was, she was a social player, but she was also, a physical threat, and she had a very good strategic mind. So I really do think that Natalie was Natalie was should have Natalie deserved to win Survivor is what I'm trying to say. So the new season of Survivor actually premieres next Wednesday, 8 p.m. on CBS. I hope you can tune in if you haven't watched Survivor, and if you're a Survivor fan, hope you can just join in and watch it like normal. I hope you enjoyed this Survivor video, and until next time, stay regal.